Today I'm going to show you how I drew this arrow type sign in 2-point perspective. So grab your pencil, your eraser, your ruler, and a 9x12 piece of paper, and let's draw. I'm set up here with a piece of paper that is 9 inches tall, 12 inches wide, and I'm ready to work on an arrow type sign. To start that, I'm going to use this measurement right here. I'm going to use 1/2 inch. And I'm going to start that right here in this upper left-hand corner. And I'm going to measure down the side exactly 1/2 inch. So I'll measure that carefully right there, 1/2 inch. Coming over here to the upper right-hand corner, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to measure down the side 1/2 inch. Okay, I'm going to line those up carefully like this with my ruler, and I'm going to draw straight across from one side of my paper to the other a nice horizontal line. Okay, and this line right here represents my eye level, the height of the artist's eyes. Now I'm going to label that with the two words eye level right above the line, E-Y-E, L-E-V-E-L. Okay, this will be a 2-point perspective drawing, so I'm going to need 2 vanishing points. I'll set up my first one right here, touching my eye level and the edge of my paper. Put a dot right there, and I'll label it VP1, vanishing point number 1. Coming over here to the upper right-hand corner, looking at my eye level, and once again, I'm going to draw that so it touches the edge of my paper and my eye level line, and I will label it VP2, vanishing point number 2. Okay, list of measurements to use today. So let's use these right here. Let's use 4, 5, 6, and 7. So I'm going to start those right here, upper left-hand corner, and I'm going to go across the top of my page with those measurements. So I'll make a mark at 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now I'll come down here and across the bottom, I'll do the same thing. I'll do 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I'm going to line those up like this, starting with my 4-inch marks like this. And I'm going to draw from my eye level line down to the bottom of my paper like that. Okay, 5-inch marks, I'll do the same thing. I'll line those up, draw from my eye level line down to the bottom of my paper, just like that. 6-inch marks, same thing. Eye level line down to the bottom of my paper, and 7-inch marks, same thing. And I'll draw like that, top of my paper to the bottom. So as you can see, I have these 4 vertical lines. Okay, I'll get rid of my list of measurements right here, and I'll put up a new one for you. And I'm going to use 1/2 inch. So what I want to do is come right here to my 3rd vertical line, and I'm going to measure up 1/2 inch. So I will do that like this, 1/2 inch right there. And I'll put a dot right there on that line. Okay, then I'm going to line that dot up with the vanishing point number 1, and I'm going to draw right here in between these two lines in the middle. Okay, now do you see how that's going towards vanishing point number 1? Okay, I'm going to take out my eraser. Below my dot, I'm going to erase that line like this. And below this area here, I will also erase that line. Okay, so that's what I have so far. Okay, next measurement I'm going to use. I'm going to use 3 inches. And what I want to do is come over here to my line right here. This was my 7-inch line. And I'm going to measure up from the bottom. I'm going to measure up this line exactly 3 inches. And I'll put a dot right there on the line, 3 inches. Okay, I'm going to line that up with vanishing point number 1, like this. And I'm going to draw 2 sections of the line. One right here, and one right here. Okay, now let me move my ruler so you can see where those are. Okay, excellent. Grab your eraser. Let's erase below this line, like this. And let's also erase below this line, like this here. Okay, very good. Next measurement. Let's use 2 inches right there. Okay, so what I want to do now is come here to this corner, which I made where these 2 lines come together. I'm going to measure up that line exactly 2 inches, just like this. Putting a dot once again on the line, 2 inches. Okay, I'm going to line that up with vanishing point number 1, like this. And I will draw right there, as you can see. All right, now can you see a capital letter T there? If you can, that's great. Grab your eraser. Let's do some cleaning up. I'm going to erase this line right here, like that. Once again, when you're drawing in perspective, try to draw as light as you can. Let's erase this line right here as well, like this. And this one also. And this one as well. All right, there you can see my letter T. However, let's continue with our eraser. I'm going to erase this section here because I want the shape to be simple and easy to understand. And sometimes having these additional lines in the middle of it, that makes it confusing. Okay, very good. So I've got my nice capital letter T. All right, my next step is I need to add a triangle to this side of my T. Okay, so my next measure I'm going to use, I'm going to use 1 inch. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to line this up. You'll remember that this length of line right here is 2 inches. Okay, like that. I've got it lined up with even measurements. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to extend up 1 inch, like that, and I'm going to extend down like this 1 inch there. Okay, now I know it's hard to see that. Let me move my ruler. And what that means is this section here is 1 inch tall. This section here also is 1 inch tall. And you'll remember that this right here from here to here is 2 inches. Okay, let's use this measurement again. So this section here is 2 inches. I'm going to line that up. And what I want to do is I want to put a mark in the middle of that section, which of course is going to be 1 inch. So I'll put a little dot right there. Okay. Now, I'm going to line that up with vanishing point number 1 and an even inch number here, like this. And then I'm going to extend out also 1 inch right there. Okay, let's review. So this line here is 1 inch long from here to here, 1 inch from here to here, and it's 1 inch from here to here. Okay, now I'm going to connect those like this from here to here and then here to here, forming a triangle. Okay, so I'm going to do that right now like this. There's one side of my triangle. And the second one I'll do like this. There you go. So now I've added a triangle to my T. Grab my eraser. I'm going to clean this up so that my T and my triangle are now one single shape. Okay, very good. All right. Now, you've noticed that so far today, I've only been using vanishing point number 1. It is time to use vanishing point number 2. And I'm going to do that from these locations here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, here we go. I'll start here at the top. And I'm going to line this up with vanishing point number 2 this time. And for demonstration purposes, I will draw all the way to my vanishing point like that. Okay, second location is this one here like this. Once again, I'm lined up with vanishing point number 2, and I will draw towards it like that. Third location is right here. I'll line this up like this, draw towards vanishing point number 2. Okay, next spot is this location here. I'm going to line that up with my vanishing point number 2, and I will draw like that. And then down here as well, I will line up with vanishing point number 2 like this. Okay, very good. Now, that looks a little bit confusing with all these lines right there, but have no fear, we're going to be able to make this work. Okay, awesome. Now, the next measure I'm going to use, I am going to use this one here. I'm going to use 1/2 inch. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up this corner right here with my ruler. I'm going to measure up this line exactly 1/2 inch. Okay, so I'll take a look at that, and I'll put a mark on the line right there, 1/2 inch. Okay, now I'm going to take that mark, I'm going to line it up with vanishing point number 1 like this, and I'm going to draw right there, stopping when I hit that vertical line. Okay, good. All right, I'm going to grab my eraser and I'm going to erase like this here. Okay, very good. All right, now the next thing I'm going to do is I need to figure out the length of my stand, or I should say the width of my stand. All right, now this can be confusing. I can't measure, I can't guess, I cannot estimate. I have to use a little secret, a rule of perspective, which I'm going to show you right now. Okay, so I'm going to take this vertical line right here. I'm going to take my ruler I'm going to line it up again so it's nice and straight up and down. And I'm going to continue this vertical line straight up until I hit right there and stop. Okay, notice that. Where these two lines touch, I'm going to line up with vanishing point number 2, like this. And I'm going to draw until I hit right there. Stop. Okay, now where these two lines touch, grab your ruler, put your ruler on that carefully so your ruler is nice and straight up and down. And for demonstration purposes, I'm going to draw all the way down like this, stopping right there. And that gives me the exact thickness of my stand in perspective. Now that's done without guessing or measuring or with numbers. Okay, now I've shown you that. Let's get rid of these temporary lines. Okay, so I'll get rid of this one right here. This section right here. This section here. I'll keep this section here, and then I'll erase down here as well. This long length of line like that. Now it's going to take a moment to get all that erasing, but I like to do it nice and slow so we're not confused about the rules of perspective. Okay, now as you can see, what I need to work on next is I need to figure out the thickness of my arrow. Now again, I cannot use measurements, I cannot guess, I cannot estimate. I have to use the rules of perspective, which we can use to discover that thickness. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to look for this spot right there, and I'm going to line that up with vanishing point number 2. I'm going to draw towards vanishing point number 2, like that. Okay, stay with me. Now, I need to look at the top line of my sign right here. I'm going to put my ruler on that again. It will be lined up with vanishing point number 1. Pay close attention. And I'm going to continue this line through like that. Okay, I am looking for the place where these two lines cross each other right here. Now, to clarify that, I will take my eraser and I'll erase these extra lengths of line. Okay, like this. Okay, very good. All right, now, don't be lost. Notice where these two lines come together forming a corner. Put your ruler on this corner so your ruler is straight up, vertical, straight up and down. Okay, I'm going to look carefully. I'm going to check my ruler. Yes, that looks great. Then I'm going to draw up right there and stop. Just like that. Okay, then with my eraser, I'm going to erase this extra length of line. Like this. Okay. This location here shows me the thickness of my sign. So what I need to do now is I need to put my ruler on this corner and I need to make sure that it's parallel or even with this slanted line here. Now, the way I like to do it is I like to put my ruler on my slanted line like this. Gently and evenly, I like to move it away until I see my corner. I like to check my ruler again to make sure that it's parallel and even. I think that looks about right there. And then I'm going to draw right here a slanted line. Stopping right there. Okay, grab your eraser. Let's erase this extra length of line, just like this. Okay, and then you can see the last thing I need to do here is I need to draw another slanted line that is parallel to this one from this location right here. Okay, so I can go ahead and do that right now. I'm going to put my ruler on this slanted line. Gently and evenly, I'll move that away right there. And then I'm going to draw like that. Check that. That looks great. Grab my eraser and I erase right there. Okay, very good. All right. Now, before I wrap this up, I have to get rid of this temporary line, these temporary lines right here that I use to figure something out. Those are temporary construction lines. So I want to go ahead and erase those just like this. And right here. And right there. Now, I lost a little bit of my line. Let me replace that with my ruler. I'll just draw right there. Okay, there you have it. Arrow type sign drawn in 2-point perspective. And we used the tricks of perspective to figure out the length, or I should say the width of this stand and the width of this arrow. There you go.